Right, so just a nice casual one today. How's your pre-releases going? Mine? Well, they're non-existent. So here's the thing. I live in a rural town, right? The closest game store that runs these events is 40 minutes one way. So around that, we'll say an hour and a half round trip just to, go play some games. Armor events, they run it monthly. So it's not even really regular events. They do pre-release, but at $55 Australian, right? So again, about half a box for a third of the box with not really an incentive in terms of prize support, right? Everyone gets a really nice pack of promos, and that's fantastic. I don't want to devalue that in any way, but aside from that, there isn't really any concise alternative pricing, right? No incentive to try your best, right? It's more just come crack some packs early, have a little bit of fun, which is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but it's not much of an incentive for me again to travel an hour and a half round trip to go play pre-release, right? So I will live vicariously through you all. We'll pop over to Reddit, but more importantly, we'll look at the standouts here through Fab and their article, LSS and their article, right? So travelers from all walks of life delved into the mysterious new booster set last weekend, discovering century-old truths and traditions. Some reached true enlightenment, harnessing their inner chi to perform unbelievable feats. Others unearthed treasures thought to be lost to the passage of time. One feeling unites them all. Give us more. I don't know. I don't know about this, right? I do. Obviously, there's people who are super ecstatic. I also feel like there's people who the set didn't really interest them to begin with, and then there's people who tried the set and dipped their toes in. And yeah, again, this is on LSS's website, right? This is meant to build hype. I'm just trying to give my actual objective opinion, right? So for some people, I don't know if it did reel them in enough, right? Heavy hitters is just unanimously loved regardless of whether or not you actually participated. The amounts of the community that it hit is definitely the largest we've had for a set in a long while, especially coming off the back of Dust Till Dawn and Bright Lights and what they did for the community in their own fashion, right? So then with Mistveil, it is still a niche set, right? If you like the characters, cool. If you like the new mechanic, cool. But other than that, it's not going to be for everyone, and that's basically the gist of every Fab set. There's never going to be something for everyone, right? Missed your first chance to venture into the wide blue yonder? Fret not, for Playday events are only a week away, granting players the opportunity to throw down with partner Mistveil Blitz decks, celebrating the release of the latest set in start. Now, I'm very curious about this too, because the Blitz decks, right, just seem like a complete downgrade from the decks you're capable of building at pre-release. The fact that you get 8 packs, it's only a 30 card deck, so you're really able to make something completely cohesive, and then also the plethora of Transcend, right? The Blitz decks, shockingly to me, have a lot less Transcend cards than what I was picturing. So I'm curious how that's going to go versus the pre-release. But we have mainly what we're looking for, right? James White, always fantastic to see him around the world. Again, it's his baby. And the fact that he's, just growing and growing and growing, more passionate every year is always fantastic to see. But we want, gold pack. So, lucky enough to win a gold pack, right? Because this is the big thing. The stores are opening them, and the stores are deciding what to do with them. No gold packs were found. That's a bit unfortunate. Any here? No. This was the first time we held a pre-release in the Japanese language, and 9 people participated. An experienced player brought 6 of his friends who were just starting to play Fab, and it was impressive to see how much fun the participants had while being supported by the other players. Right. So again, that's a really great starting point. Right. 9 is actually super fantastic, even if it is a bunch of people being roped in. Right. Again, from my perspective, the Australian scene is dying, and it's one of the bad sides of Fab, right? The lack of continued checkup and support once an area is meant to be developed, right? So Monarch definitely was the first nail in the coffin for Australia and for a lot of places, in all honesty. And then Bright Lights and Dust Till Dawn were another unfortunate drop-off point. In fact, with that in mind, heavy hitters. There was actually an LGS closer to me. It's still 20 minutes each way, so 40 minutes, but that's still half of, again, the other armory that I was looking at, not armory, LGS. So I called them up for heavy hitters, and it was, oh, you're interested. We weren't sure, right? Right, they were still running events, well, planning to run events, we just hadn't had any turn up yet, so we were going to cancel it, right? So I then also asked, what about boxes? And the reasons, we had a nice little conversation. It was basically, bright lights was a big drop-off point. They ran events, lackluster showing for bright lights, lackluster of product sales for bright lights, so they had to severely dial it back for heavy hitters. And heavy hitters, despite how much I really wanted to be a part of that set, because of my location, I couldn't be, right? Even buying boxes here in Australia, I only ever got two, not two cases, two boxes. Yeah, that's really shocking to me, right? Because I again, heavy hitters is a really cherished set, but there was this kind of bottleneck on it that also comes with the fact that a lot of stores are incentivized to open and sell singles rather than move the product, because there is just such a big boom in singles in those first few weeks, in the first month even of a product's release, that it is just the stores get them in. They should be cracking them as soon as possible, so that come the street release date, they can just launch, go nuts with all the single sales. So yeah, that's just a little unfortunate little anecdote, but truth of the state in the wider world of Fab, unfortunately. One Fable, 2 Marvels, 4 Legendaries. Cool. Any gold packs? So we have among other great prizes. Oh, here we go. Oddwiller gave away 3 gold packs that were discovered during the event, among other great prizes, right? So yeah, the gold packs. This is what we'll focus on. So if we hop over to Reddit, right? Mixed bag still. Now, the nice thing to hear is that so far it's like for every 10 that raffle, 1, do it the less than positive way, right? So how did they determine to give you the gold pack? It was pulled out of the box and they randomly picked one of the players to get as a prize. I think the raffle system is just the best way to do it. Unfortunately, it is a lucrative thing. The rainbow foil is going for an obscene amount, right? Do not pay over $100 for the rainbow foil Enigma. A lot of them are going to hit the market, right? If you don't believe me, check out Fluke Box. They opened, I think he was trying to do 200 boxes. I don't know if he did the full 200, but he got 9 gold packs. He got 9 rainbow foil Enigmas, right? The majority of them, 99.9% at the very least, are just rainbow foil Enigmas, right? A lot of them are going to be open for the chase, for the desire to find or be a part of the collective that first opens the wonderful 100 of Marvel Enigmas, and that's all going to spill over. So do not overpay. If you have one, though, sell it. Try and sell it. Try and move it for a way more than it's truly worth, right? And buy it back later. Dang, that's lucky. My LGS got one in a box and cracked it himself to put it in the case. Yeah. Unfortunately, again, nothing's enforced. Nothing was even mentioned. So, it's just up to them. It's not... Yes, it's a bad thing to see, and it's horrible as a community. Again, you're technically paying for the events, right? So technically you're paying for the portions of these boxes. But again, it's on the stores, right? Every store that keeps an open box is going to do this. It's a brain-dead way to distribute the cards. They should have just packed the cards with special stuff, but kept the packing the same. Most reputable stores will put it as a door prize, do community engagement. It doesn't cost them anything. It makes more people happy. Yeah, right? So, and that's another metric to look at it. The more popular the game is in that area, the more likely, right? Gold pack is going to serve as this fun little additive. The worse it's doing, or rather, how it's dwindling or drying up, or there's just not enough players in the area to spawn it. That's where it's gonna become, again, quote unquote, sketchy, right? Where they use it to support themselves, because that's just it is in some sense the valid thing to do. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but it is a valid thing to do, because okay, again, another anecdote here in Australia, boxes never ever get close to recommended retail price. Going back to the store, right, that had a heavy-hitter box, they asked me, do you want to buy something? We'll order them in if you're going to buy a case or 2. And I asked how much? 160, which is the recommended retail price. Unfortunately, you can easily find boxes here in Oz for 110 to 120, right, without even trying to find a good deal, right? So $40 to $50 a box, $200 difference for a case. That's crazy, right? And just no matter how much you might want to support an LGS, you're not going to do that. You're not going to just say, sure, here's a free $200, especially, right? Cost of living crisis all around the world, but I digress. So yeah, It's a bit unfortunate. Every place that I went to raffle the gold pack, right? And that's the best way to do it, definitely. Rough, every store around me raffled it. Yeah, so again, it's a mixed bag, but it does seem like the majority are using a raffle system, which is fantastic, right? They should be this nice little bonus, not this point of contention. Again, I really hate the idea of it being, cool, I found one in a box, but I'm not excited to open it, because if I look online, in a month's time, I'm gonna see the Rainbow Foil Enigma at a cheap price, and the gold pack still holding higher value, because again, people want to chase the Marvel Enigma. So straight away, if I'm thinking it realistically, I'm highly de-incentivized to open the gold pack. But anyway, back to pre-release, back to the good stuff. So, a Rising Sun Setting Moon. I think this is my favorite Marvel. It's just so gorgeous, right? The Phoenix and the Wolf. Yeah, super pretty, and I also think it's probably the best effect. That or Preserved Edition are definitely the most playable Transcend cards, right? They just have a really powerful extra effect. Imagine if they were the Fables. Would you be happy? Probably, yeah. So that's the way I think about it. I got one of them myself. It's a beautiful card. Congrats on your pull. Yeah, it's beautiful. A beautiful card. I would still sell it though and plan to buy it back because again, pre-release is doing its thing and prices are up. So another Rising Sun Setting Moon, you can see a little bit better what is actually foiled, which I always like to check out, right? So not all of the wing, or rather gradients. So I do think this is, between the two, is definitely going to really, really pop. I've seen the Preserved Edition, and that I'm not too excited about. It looks kind of washed out like the Radiant sets, unfortunately. If you play new, you get to play whatever hero your opponent is playing as well as your own class. What was the question? Coming back to Fab after leaving during Everfest, help me pick a class between Assassin and Illusionist. Right, well, yeah. It works in both, or you could sell it and buy a handful of Majestics. So, mainly just explaining, which is fantastic. Again, very community-driven game. Not that everything should be left up to the community, right, in all honesty. What's your take on Mistcloak Golly? This is a curiosity one. It sure is a pretty foil. Yeah. I think this is probably better in Rainbow Foil, right? Just from the art. That's at least my thought. Depending, again, what they specifically hit with the cold foiling. It's cool, but it doesn't stick around for 3 turns or transform instantly. Feels underwhelming. What? But cool if it doesn't stick around. That's what I missed. But if it doesn't stick around for 3 turns, I don't know. I think any value out of this I'm super happy with, right? Just put it on the board. It is instant, so you don't have to worry about the action point, right? And it's just a -1. And I really think in all 3 of them, it's not that hard to continuously float, right? They all have ways to, well, maybe not Zen as much, but both New and Enigma definitely have ways to either pitch or play a blue, right? With some level of ease. And yeah, just the fact that it's a -1 every turn is strong, right? There we go. It's complete FU to Bolton, but I don't think he'll see much play unless he suddenly becomes unbelievably dominant. We'll see with the Armory deck. There we go. That's what they said. White Bolton specifically, it's just first attack each turn. Doesn't it just destroy the weapons, in a sense, right? Another previous pull, Mask of Recurring Nightmares. Wonderful art, right? Again, we can see what they hit. The main mask. I would assume the accessories, because that's usually what they also target with the cold foil, right? But a beautiful card. I also pulled during pre-release, very happy, not building any of the new heroes, but my buddy's building new, he's going to buy it off me. So I can finally start picking up Command & Conquers, yeah. Such a strong and strangely beautiful card, especially with the extra arms, right? Let's point out on Riddlerman's Discord, which if you don't know, wonderful place for the Fab community. Check it out. Right, 4 arms. Coming out of the one sleeve, 2 on each side. So, I highly doubt it's this person extending their arm into the other girl's kimono and around, right? So, yeah, some little spider motif. Lucky, I pulled this one too, still on the fence. I'm building new for CC. I was just trying to sell it. There we go. Here's what we're preaching, right? It's just trying to sell it, and then you can likely get one later, a bit cheaper. People are trying to sell the Crown of Providence, or sell it for Crown of Providence price at the moment, when it only fits one hero, right? Yeah. Kind of regret not getting rid of my Shroud, even though Assassin is my main, and I want one for my collection. The question is, can I sell it? My local community is still, we're waiting for prices to settle. Yeah, that's going to happen. Right, it's like a battle of the schmucks at the moment. But, do what you do. If you can exchange it into a ton of Majestics, I definitely do that. A Zen Marvel, cool. No comments on the Zen Marvel. I guess because it's the young one. Stir the Pot. You like this art? Kind of stands out too much, right, compared to normal Fab. Reminds me of Lord Windgrace. This card looks so damn good. I mean, we have okay, I'm guessing this is something to do with MTG, with it being deleted, right? Probably. Yeah, it is. This is very reminiscent of the Strixhaven Mystical Archives, right? But again, TG does not own, Japanese pop art or Japanese stylizations. And yeah, it is still, a wonderful collective of artistic work. Just not everyone's cup of tea. Ah, right, there we go. Doesn't this just look so washed out in dark colors? Again, I like the cold foil for metallics or jewelry or any of the accessory stuff that they normally do. When it comes to a very fabricy type of card, because obviously this is sort of scrolly tapestry, it just does not look that great to me, right? A new player being researching the game for the past couple of weeks, born and played with heavy hitters blitz decks with family and friends, had a great time. So I had to go to my LGS for the pre-release. I had a great time and pulled this bad boy. Really enjoying the game and the community. I'm coming from the digital TCG space, Hearthstone, Legend of Runeterra, and Slay the Spire. After Legends of Runeterra stopped supporting ranked multiplayer, so I recommended this game by Margin Bay, and I'm glad I found another TCG to sink my teeth in. Yeah, so that's another interesting point, right? I would definitely say that Fab is very close to the normal game space we see with online games, right? In its strategic nature and just some of the mechanics it runs, which is, again, a great point, right? Minus the cost. But, if you enjoy those games, Fab is definitely something worth checking out. Congrats, dude. It's pretty interesting. Also, a Legends of Runeterra player. I'm going to Fab because of margin. Nice. I don't have the brain power for Wizard. I got the Mechanologist feat cold foil, though. That's a feels bad. But, yeah. Still Marvel. You can still probably do something with it. And again, I do think Preserved Edition is up there with Rising Sun, Setting Moon as a super strong effect, right? Getting any blanket action card back rather than having a cost requirement, having, be attack or a non-attack is a really strong effect. How did everyone's pre-releases go? That's what we're trying to find out. I got them all and a Tooth and Claw with my sets and went 2-1 with Zen. Had a great time and loved those little pulls I got. How did everyone else go? Distributor effed up. And the pre-release stuff will only arrive, looking at this string, so this looks to be a Europe issue. Unfortunately, it seems like every release is almost plagued with one area falling short, which is a bit sad to see. Made top 4 with Enigma, but stuffed a metal broom by that point, but suffered a mental, got dyslexic sometimes. Everyone that went left with some loot, so win or lose, you walked away with cool cards. One player got a gold pack, another found the Cold Foil Fable, half a dozen Marvels pulled. It was a fun weekend. The art for this set is incredible. Can't wait for the June prize spot. So I think another big thing that sort of goes unsung is because the Marvels are one a case, right? Almost every pre-release is bound to have at least one good pull to, show off, and that is fantastic. Well, I kept fumbling with new, but the important parts was that I had fun. Yep. Went 4-1-1-1 with Enigma, and 4 on my second Zen. So I've heard stories of Enigma dominating, but I've also seen a lot of stuff like this where it is very, very open, right? That any hero, depending on what cards you pull, again having 8 packs and then breaking down to a 30-card deck, can be decent, and that's nice to see. I was very worried that Enigma would just dominate in this limited space, but yeah, it looks like it's good balance, right? More Enigma, played in 3, pulled a Cold Foil, missed Cloak Golly, and an Enigma New Moon, absolute garbage M's, Enigma, Rainfall Legendaries. Yeah, see, look, right? It keeps flip-flopping. 1 on 3 on new. Well, actually, that's a loss on new, but that's fine. Cancel code LSS, screwed up, right? I'd assume, again, more issues with probably Europe. Pulled a Marvel. I didn't pull anything expensive, but I learned. I drew, then proceeded to lose every other game. So I will say the learning curve, though, is a bit problematic for Mistveil. It would almost kind of benefited if they did Blitz and then Limited, right? To actually add a proper feel of what deck you're trying to build. Because it's not new player friendly, we'll go with that. All 3 heroes are kind of complex. And then again, making the rational decision of what to trim down to a 30-card deck could definitely screw over some people. right? Whereas if they had that blitz mentality, being able to, feel and play and learn the blitz decks might have been a little bit more smoother. But other than that, I think this is the best looking Marvel, right? I know it's a young hero, so it's not going to be that outstanding, but it's a really gorgeous piece of art, right? With the flowing water, right? Just, it's so well done, right? It definitely stands out from all the Marvel heroes too, and it feels unique and yeah, it's fantastic. Lost most of the matches, but that's okay, definitely. Are these types of cards limited to the promo events? Nope. You can find them in packs. Best Marvel in the set, in my opinion, not even a Lucius player. Yep, I fully agree. Main, but still young Enigma is fire, by the grace of Soraya, that's beautiful. Yeah, definitely to me the standout Marvel. Anyway, there we go. We're all caught up, right? I've got my fill to some extent, and now I just patiently wait 2 more weeks for boxes. I say 2 because, releases on a Friday. Again, rural, so things have to be shipped to me, which means it most likely won't be shipped until Monday, and then it won't arrive till probably the end of that week. Fun times. Oh well. What can you do? Look forward to scrolling through Reddit and seeing everyone else's fantastic pulls. Again, there is so much to collect in this set. I think that's good. Just don't fall for the current prices, right? Things will still be, moderately valuable, just not as valuable as they are now. Because again, there is just that big supply versus demand issue, right? Premiere, packs and dribs come out. Pre-release, packs and dribs come out, right? And then proper release, and then people getting boxes and a lot more cards hitting the market. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.